Oh my gosh, what is up? Cheers. It is I, Shanti Tag. Welcome. Oh my gosh. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not new here, welcome. Hi. So today we're going to unpack a little bit about biohacking, fasting, NAD, the whole jam, and kind of like my personal experience. This is not medical advice. I'm just sharing what I've learned and what I do and how that has worked. And we're also going to get into like some yogic tips and tricks. Yeah. Hi. I hope that everyone here is doing good. Like genuinely. I hope that you all are doing good. P.S. A little test run of merch. Not sure if I'm loving it. This is from the episode It's Not Me, It's You. For those of you who know about people pleasing, this hat's for you. Let's get into it. Biohacking. Who here has heard about biohacking? It's a big thing right now. Yeah, it's getting way more popular. Some different, people are putting stuff on the map when it comes to biohacking more recently. Yeah, who here has heard of fasting? Yeah, cool. Same thing. I mean, fasting's this ancient yogic teaching. There is writings in all different types of ancient and holy scriptures around fasting and the benefits of fasting. But it is definitely making another debut, if you will, in this time and space. And then who here has heard of NAD? A little bit of a controversial topic, but we're going to get into just a little bit of that as well. Okay, but first let's get into biohacking. And essentially, what biohacking is, my interpretation of it is how to optimize each cell, each breath, each moment in the highest vibe fucking way. All right, that's my take on it. How to actually genuinely live life down to a cellular, molecular level in the most highest vibe you possibly can. Okay, that's my take on biohack. Now, you can definitely get into like the intricacies of science that's available now. But what I wanted to break down to you all today is some real easy first steps on how to apply biohacking in your life right now. Because you know me, I love a good concept, but what I love even more is taking that concept and putting it into action. Okay, so this first thing, this is so easy breezy beautiful that I love, and it's one of these ones where it's okay if you don't 100% believe it currently. Just kind of like play around with the sound current of it instead of going with your chronological age, meaning how many years or days you've been earthside on this planet this time around. You use biomarkers for your age. And there's three that I'm going to share with you today, and I'll do like a little show and tell, if you will. There's three kind of yogic postures that I'm going to show you where you can test to see kind of where your biological age is standing. Yeah. And listen, if you do these or show up to these postures and it's not easy, that's okay. But it gives you an idea of like, okay, I can show up to these postures every day. And as you show up to the postures every day, you're literally shaving the days, the weeks, and the months off of what we perceive as age. Yeah. So it's okay if you can't get into these postures, just showing up to them is going to start turning things around for you. Okay. So, with these postures, and I'll cut the postures in, each one is designed to strengthen, lengthen, and maximize the functionality specifically of the life nerve, which essentially you could call the central nervous system, which is kind of like the powerhouse to all systems, right? It's like the all systems superhighway, so to speak. Yeah. They also touch in on the glandular and lymphatic system and all the major systems of the physical body. And as yogis, we know that every single system that we have access to is connected. So the physical body is connected to the mental body, to the emotional body, to the spiritual body, to all of it. Yeah. The first one that you're going to see here is just standing up, bending over with your legs straight, your feet about hip width apart, and seeing if you can touch the floor. And if you cannot, that is okay. Go as far as you can with the legs straight, but the knees aren't locked. And how you can do that is by kind of flexing the thigh if that's available to you. Yeah. So the legs are straight, but the knee is not locked. And you're just going to see where you can go with it. And if you can touch the floor with the hands flat on the floor, awesome. That is your marker to get you to a place. We'll call it like, you know, in the 25-year range. You can call it whatever you want, whatever youth looks like for you. But if you wanted to slap a number on it, we're going to call it 25. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you could stay there, stay there. Take a couple deep breaths, breathe into the pose, stretch the back of the legs. You're lengthening and kind of untangling the fascia that is surrounding that life nerve in the back of the leg. All right, wonderful. Now, this next posture that we're going to be looking at is you're sitting on the knees. Now, if this is a match for you, awesome. If it's not a match for you, you're just going to visualize that you can do this, okay? The vision of it will actually really pack a bigger punch than you might think, right? So visualize yourself sitting on your knees if you're not actually physically able to do that. And then slowly start to walk your body back, where you could start to just lean on your hands. And then if it's available to you, go down to the elbows, breathing deep as you do. And then if it's available to you, lay flat on your back and hang for some deep breaths here, flat on your back, while sitting in what we call rock pose, okay? All right, now this is a really, really big one. This is, in the yogic teachings, this will kind of determine how much maybe dis-ease there is taking place in the physical body. So again, if this isn't available to you, just showing up, even if it's just showing up visually, I'm going to visualize myself, in this posture. That is also going to send a signal to each cell in your body that, oh, we're choosing life and health instead of death and dis-ease. Yeah? All right. Now, this next posture is very similar to the second one that we just did, but instead of sitting on the heels, we're going to spread the knees wide and the butt drops down between the heels. This is called celibate pose in Kundalini yoga. And same kind of vibe. We're going to lean back, start leaning back on the hands, and then go to the elbows if that's available to you, breathing deep. And then if you can, go ahead and bring it down all the way to the back, spending some deep breaths here, lying on the back in celibate pose. All right, now those are 3 super cool biohacking markers that will allow you to determine kind of what your biological age is instead of your chronological age. Yeah? My chronological age is different from my biological age. I'm very youthful in my physical form, in my mental form, in my emotional form, in my spiritual form. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm youthful in my chronological form too. But even if I was not, I'm still going to go by what my biological age is by using these ancient yogic markers. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that is super fun. That's my first little nugget on biohacking. And then the other piece is to why I think it's so important to go along with a biological age. And again, you could just call it youth and health instead of a number. Sometimes if I use a number, I use 25 forever. Number one, because I believe it, because I can go lean into those markers, the poses that we just went through. And it's fun. I don't have any kind of like dissonance when I say that. Yeah. But I oftentimes just like, what is fucking age? It's so silly to me, I think. So many of us, and maybe this isn't you, but maybe it is you, but so many of us have this relationship, whether it's conscious or unconscious, subconscious, when we talk about age, right along with it comes, my time is running out. The cup is empty, half empty and not half full, right? And so what happens is every single aspect of your physical form goes, okay, we're dying, okay, we're dying, okay, we're dying, right? Your cells will follow along with what it is that you're saying and what it is that you're believing and what it is that you're spending your most time and effort focused on. Okay, it really will. And so you'll find oftentimes, and you see this, so I mean, all you have to do is spend some time with like some really devoted yogis or Buddhists, or whatever kind of like devotee you want that has kind of a practice like this. You can just see the difference being in their presence. Where those that don't have a practice like this, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes they're just not doing great, not enjoying themselves, in physical pain, having dis-ease in the body, complaining, saying that they're old and whatever the fuck else, right? It's like they're giving up on life, when really it's like, dude, that shit's a choice. And I know that it doesn't feel like that oftentimes, especially if you're already kind of in the thick of that space, but you really can start to turn this around at any point. Yeah. So my invitation to you, in order to signal a new message to the cells and every single aspect of your being, especially on a molecular level, is stop talking about your fucking age. All right? Just stop. Stop saying that you're old if that's something that you're saying. You don't have to necessarily say that you're young if you don't believe it and if you don't feel it, but you could just say something or just not say something. Riveting. I know. But stop, drop, and see if you can touch your toes, right? See if you can bring your hands to the floor. Go into those 3 exercises that we just reviewed. And if you can't, that's okay. Visualize yourself. That is enough. It's a fucking game changer. Okay, so that is biohacking in a way that I feel that you don't need to like invest in anything. You don't have to start taking anything. It's really just kind of using your own resources that you have available to you right now. What are we going to get into next? Fasting. Okay, so personal level, I have been intermittent fasting for almost a year now, and I fucking love it. Holy cannoli. I have stepped into this a few times in life with varying degrees of success, and this time really, really stuck. And I think it was because I was ready to look at and be with what I was avoiding by eating at night in order to like soothe myself. Yeah. And a part of that was just like, I'm single momming and it's fun. And at the same time, at some point, I would like to experience something different, like a partnership or something like that. Yeah. So I was able to just sit with that. And that was a lot of it, like why I would eat at night. It wasn't because I was hungry. It was because I was avoiding feeling these things and looking at these things and just like, can I just be with the fact that I can love myself and be with myself and provide that for myself? And we all know, and I talk about this all the time, you're not going to find love, honey, until you love yourself. And that's something that gets tossed around so often, but it really is the name of the game. If you want a healthy relationship, you have to have a healthy relationship with you first. And so that's what intermittent fasting is really kind of like highlighted for me. So oftentimes I will do, I'll fast for 18 hours and then I'll eat for 6 hours. And so the hours that I choose to do the fasting are, I stop eating at 3 p.m. or beforehand, and then I start eating again the next morning at 9 a.m. My days start super early, so that 9 a.m. mark is kind of basically like a lunchtime for me, since I typically start my day at like 5 a.m. And I love it. Now, go do your own research, okay? But all the research I've done indicates that at that 18-hour mark, not only are you kind of dropping excess weight in releasing toxins and funk from your system. But there's also a little bit of like cellular healing going on. But again, there's different schools of thought. There's all different types of studies and research and all of that. I like to look at that, and then I also just like to have my own experience. And so what I've noticed is a dramatic difference in inflammation and my ability just to kind of like be steady with where I am instead of trying to avoid it and self-soothe in a way that is actually just avoidance instead of just loving where I'm at right now. Yeah? Fuck yeah. All right, so that's my jam with intermittent fasting. I probably will continue this for as the foreseeable future. I absolutely love it. I do it about 5 days a week. I'm not always doing it. I like to give myself flexibility, because when I get into this all or nothing rigid space, for me personally, there's like an addiction in that, and there's its own kind of level of avoidance and being like so fucking rigid with something. So I like to give myself flexibility, especially when it comes to this stuff. So highly recommend intermittent fasting. Go do your own research. I've loved it. I've had huge transformations. I've definitely dropped some weight. It wasn't necessarily like what I was going into it for. It was really just for like emotional and mental clarity, and also healing on a cellular level. But yeah, dude, it's been like legit amazing. All right, so now this next thing that I've been doing research on that I haven't tried yet, but I have a shipment on the way to me from my own personal naturopathic doctor that I love, and she's also a homeopathic doctor as well. And it is, okay, so let's see if I can say it, okay? Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Ting! Did I do it? Otherwise known as NAD. Now, the supplement that I'm going to be getting is a liposomal version where you squirt it in your mouth. That's what she said. Instead of an IV or an injection. And so some of the said benefits, again, do your own research, do not take my word for it, is that on a molecular level, you're going to find some healing on a molecular cellular level. Okay, it helps produce energy by converting food into fuel, right? So it's like kind of like on the mitochondria level of things. Also on a metabolism level of things, it regulates metabolism and inflammatory responses. So there's so many, DNA repair. Like what the, that's what? Mind blowing. Immune support and health. And of course, there's just so much out there around kind of like reverse aging. Yeah. Talk about biohack. So previously, I believe this was NAD was only available at a high price point in IV administration. And so I haven't ever done it. I haven't used it yet. It comes highly recommended. And so once I get that in hand and I start using it, I'll do a full report. But I wanted to share this with you all because I love gadgets and supplements and all of the things. Yeah, dude, I really do. But at the end of the day, I want to start with kind of like, well, what do I got now that I can start doing now? And I have me now, you have you now. All right. So I hope that this is interesting and beneficial for you all. And if you start your own kind of biohacking journey, let me know. I'd love to hear how it's going. And if you have questions, pop them in the chat. If you have stories, pop it in the chat, because honey, the B Squad is coming in hot, and I just appreciate the shit out of all of you. All right. All right. See you all soon. Satnam. Fuck yeah.